The wires connect, and when all the wires connect, we'll do the right thing and talk and do PAMCast for January 20th, 2020. Oh my God, it's 2026. I did not change the slide to say 2026. Oops. Well, I guess we will do it that way, and then we'll update the slide, and the one that we release will have the correct information on it. Because it's live, you get what you get. And as soon as we get thumbs up from our production staff over there, we'll keep going. Until then, we'll just kind of burn time and talk and do. I could start, and I've thought about that. Maybe we should just start, and then if we have issues, back up instead of doing all this burning time at the beginning. Nah. But this is just kind of what we're doing this time. So, speaking of like burning time, we're done burning time. We got our thumbs up from our production staff. So, and you're going to get a sneak feature of our production staff and a new feature this time, which is really cool. All right, anyway, let's get started. Welcome to PAMCast for January 20th, 2026. I know the agenda that I'm going to show you in here in a second says 2025, but that was an oversight on my part because it's a new year. Like writing checks, for those of you that used to write checks. It's sometimes hard to change the year thought when you write it down. So this is PAMCast. This is for people who are familiar with TechIDManager. This is where we kind of go transparent. Well, we're always transparent. We go more transparent. We tell you what we've worked on last month, show you what's upcoming in the next month, cover in a little more detail some of those features you may be interested in, and talk about them in the context of someone who understands what TechIDManager is and does. If you're interested in what TechIDManager does, you can go to techidmanager.com, or you can check out our live demo, which is on the first Thursday. Some Thursday. You'll see it on there. You can also request a demo. But this is mainly focused at people who know what TechIDManager is, current partners, people who have done demos and want to try it out. So, without further ado, let's bring up the agenda. So I'm going to slide out of the way here a little bit and tell you that this agenda image was made with TechIDManager, with ChatGPT, or 𝗬𝗁𝗵𝗿 as we call him internally. And this is to tease a major new feature that we're working on. It's going to be called TechIDManager, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗶𝗀. And we were thinking about doing a like a hangman game, but then like hangman's kind of morbid. So we were brainstorming and we came up with the Wheel of Fortune is also a word game. So we went to 𝗬𝗁𝗵𝗿 and made a little image. That's me and our production staff, Emily Sterdevan, if you have seen her, no, Emily Neri. If you have seen her on the social medias, she is our engagement person there. That's her, or that's a ChatGPT rendering of her based on her headshot. She looks a lot like that. So that's a lot of what we've been working on. Like for the past couple months, this feature has been under development. We have been making significant progress on it. It's now probably, nearing MVP. So we'll be reaching out to some of our partners who we've talked to about it and get in their hands as MVP or beta testing. We're super excited about it. It's like a whole new product that could be sold all on its own, like a side that works along with TechIDManager's privileged account management. It's really nice. All right, I'll quit talking about it because if I keep talking about it, I'm going to slip and give you the name and then give it away. But if you have any guesses about what the name is, you can put them in the doobly-doos down below. We are continuing to work on our SOC 2 compliance. The audit for that should start soon. I know I've said that a couple times, and between all the paperwork that has to happen and all the like boxes and things that have to get in a row, we've already paid for the 2 audits that need to happen, and we've done the gap analysis, paid for that, we've done that. We're just working on getting the ducks in a row and starting that and kicking that process off. It's real close. Speaking of ducks in a row, my wife and I have chickens, and we also have dogs. We have a big fenced-in front yard, and the chicken coop's in the middle of that, and the dogs run around the chicken coop. Well, a couple times a week, we let the chickens out and let them free range the entire front yard. But when we're doing that, we can't let the dogs out because then we'd only have dogs. So we put sticky notes for a while on the front door so we would each remember to not let the dogs out if somebody let the chickens out. I found a sticker and bought a magnet that we now put on our front door. And the magnet says, I don't have ducks and I don't have them in a row, but I have chickens and they are everywhere. And that's the sticker or magnet we put on the front door to remind ourselves that the chickens are out. I am way sidetracked today. Today is like all over the place. Let me take a sweep of tea and we'll get back on track and focus and talk more about actual TechIDManager stuff that we're here to talk about and not my chickens. Or my non-existent ducks. All right, let's talk about some of the boring stuff. So we released a couple versions of the agent, a version of the client, 2 versions of the client, and the host and portal over the last month. These are really to support 2 significant new features. We have in the agent, in version 6.3.2.5, the major piece there is let me get my windows arranged. So in the agent, there's a major new feature, and this is the login tile. This is to allow techs to log into a machine without having to look at, see, or deal with a password. The tech goes up to the machine, they choose which technician they want to log onto with our special credential provider tile. A message shows up in their TechID client that says, hey, are you trying to log into this machine? You click approve, and then it logs in. Whole process, very quick, very efficient. There is a document about, or a blog post about it under resources and how-to guides called the technician login tile. There's a video there that shows how to use it. It's real straightforward. You can set it up to be the local unique account or any local accounts on the machine. You can also set up the login tile to use the domain account or an Entra ID account that machine is federated or joined to. This is with the login agent GUID and login agent name to make that more easy to use. It's a pretty good new feature. Partners requested it, so we put it in. It's really nice. Another thing that we added is, which we used to have also, was there are a couple edge cases. Let me move out of the way here so you can see it. There were a couple edge cases where if you have a work group machine that is not domain joined, and you make TechIDManager unique accounts for a technician, but you hide those from the login screen, so the users on their login tiles only see the tiles that are actual users on the machine, or normal users on the machine, not the admin technician users. There was no way to enter a username. We used to provide a Windows credential provider called the TechIDManager Window Credential Provider, WCP. We have now integrated that into the agent, and you can simply turn on that tile with TechIDAgent.exe user password tile. This is a near identical replica of the other user tile from Microsoft, which lets you enter a username and password. It's simply built into our agent, and it's enableable in that edge case in a work group that is not domain joined, where you cannot enable the other tile from Microsoft. You can turn that on, you can turn it off. The login tile you can also turn on and off. That is not on by default. Maybe it will be in the future, but it is not now. If you turn it on, you only need to set the agent GUID and the agent name if you are not logging on with a local unique account. If you're logging in with some other account, like a domain account or a federated Entra ID account. Those are pretty nice, pretty unique ways to log in. I like them. I think they work really well. I have been using them on some of our test machines. That is the login tiles. Those show up in the TechID client that was released in the login request tab. So in the new TechID client, when it updates, which it does auto updates now, you'll see there's now a login request tile. If someone has walked up to a machine and selected your technician username to log in, that request shows up in here. You select it and you click approve or deny. In order to mitigate the possibility for a fatigue attack, and because the technician will know that they have made that request to log in, this tab does not pump to the front. It does not flash in any way. There's no notifications around it. Technician chooses their name from the list. They come here, they click the login request tab, and then they click approve. Again, it's 3 clicks to go from request the login screen to logged in. Very straightforward, very simple, without the possibility for any sort of fatigue attacks like often happen with MFA fatigue, where somebody will just sooner or later click fine, yes, just to get the prompt to go away. You can't have that happen. Another thing that we've added in 6.3.2.5 of the TechID client, and throughout the portal and host releases we did also, we added the ability to put in notes. So any password that is there, like this firewall password, there's now a notes show note. If you show the note, this is the note that is attached to that password. Every password in the system can have a note with it. If you go to edit that password, the note is on this tab, and it can be as long or as free form as you want. Both of those are described in posts about on our how-to guides, resources and how-to guides. There's an explanation of the password notes, how they work, what they do, all that kind of stuff also. All right. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you saw that we had a release specifically to address some signing changes that had happened. You should go look it up on LinkedIn, follow me there. There's a couple more throughout the month. There are smaller updates about unique things that happen in the TechIDManager infrastructure ecosystem. One of them was this signing release. We did an entire release because we weren't signing the correct portion of the TechID client. We were signing the DLL that has all the code in it. We weren't signing the exe, and this comes from a history of starting on .NET 4.7, where the executable was the release. That was the build target. That's what got built. We switched to .NET 8 more than a year ago. As part of that, we still continued to sign the build target. The release process didn't really change as we changed .NET versions, but under the hood, .NET now produces as its build target a DLL and not the exe, which meant we were only signing one of the 2 things we should have been signing. We're now signing them both. Going forward, we've updated the release process. They're both signed. Really cool. So we did a whole release just to make sure we were signing all the right things. It's pretty cool. Auto updates are also now in the TechID client for Windows. The TechID client for Mac is released through the App Store on the Apple Store, so it already had updates in it. The iOS version already released to the App Store. It already had auto updates in it. The only 3 pieces that are left that don't do auto updating are the Entra ID base agent. The link agents automatically update. The base agents do not update yet. There's a technical hurdle there we may or may not be able to accomplish. That's related to the security. The Android mobile client is currently sideloaded on Android. We are going to get that pushed through the Google Play Store, and then that will also automatically update. So the Mac agent is not through the App Store. You can't push things through the App Store, which are OS components. Apple's decision, not ours. And since we make some pretty significant OS changes, creating admin users on the Mac, we can't be distributed. That piece cannot be distributed through the Apple Store. So we're going to add auto updates to that. So that leaves those 2 pieces essentially that don't have auto updates, and we're adding it to everything else in the system right now. Auto updates as it moves forward. We're working on rolling that same functionality out to the rest of the system. Third, in these boring technical features, I call it boring technical features, but this is the bread and butter of what I personally really love, is the technical aspects of it, which is, technical founder has all these things to go with it. We talk about entrepreneurs and businesses and whatnot, but I love the technical pieces. So that's what we're talking about. It gets me, love it. Anyway, in the most recent TechID portal, TechID host release, there might've been 2 after that, which are minor, but one of the most recent ones, one of the changes that's been made is when you look at agents, you'll now see that there are the agents, the agent groups, and the deleted agents in the portal. You can, when you delete an agent, it will not show back up it is blocked from showing back up until you allow it to show back up. This is different. Like you might have noticed before, if you deleted an agent from the portal, but you did not delete the agent from the machine or from the domain or from Entra ID, it just showed right back up. It was like, hey, I'm here still. Haha, I'm here. That was a design decision we made early on, that if you had an agent installed somewhere that was granting access, it would just show up in your portal. Right or wrong, we've left that, but we've also added the ability to block those agents, because there are times where our partner MSPs have lost individual clients, but not been able to remove the agents from the machines before the next MSP or the next IT company took over. And believe it or not, that taking over IT company doesn't remove the agent. It just leaves it there, granting admin access to a different company continually. And the original, our partner, the company that is being continually granted admin access, even though they're no longer a client and they don't want it, we can turn off all those accounts, but like we can't stop the agent from showing up. We couldn't before, now we can. If you go in, you delete the agent with a permanently delete button, it permanently deletes it and blocks it until you go into deleted agents and you undelete it. We don't bring back the configurations, we just allow it to show back up, and it shows back up, and you can put it in any groups you want and deal with it. That's the high-level overview, the bulk of most of the things that we have done over the last month, all the boring technical stuff. There's a lot more boring technical stuff related to that secret new feature listed right up there that you can guess the name of. There should be a prize for that. We should make a game out of it. I'll send you a sticker. If somebody can guess the name in the doobly-doos down below, I'll send you a couple stickers and a coin and whatnot. Good stuff. Fun stuff. A little cute stuff. Anyway. All right. So that's all the really boring technical stuff. For next time, these are the same 2 items. If you've been here for more than one PAMCast, if this is not your first PAMCast, you've seen these 2 items for next time. They are items that are intriguing, interesting, and that we're going to do, but partner requests and other priorities are just stealing time, dev time. So these 2 things, the next super secret agent that's coming, and TechID Entra base with shared accounts, they are both on the list. They're both going to get done. But honestly, all the dev resources have been taken up with other things. Existing partner requests, things that are just more important to TechIDManager and Ruffian software as a business than those 2. If those 2 are very important to you and you want them, send email to support@techidmanager.com and let us know that, hey, these 2 next time, secret agent or a base with shared accounts, is very important to us. Let us know, and that will help aid our priority. Like setting the priority for all things that Ruffian software and TechIDManager work on, they are all partner driven. We love our partners. We love helping you. If you have an idea that can make TechIDManager better, email us, let us know, call us. Phone number's on the website. If somebody else doesn't answer it, it rings my phone, and I'll talk to you about some feature that you want, something that you want. Oh, another thing, one of our partners made a PowerShell module that deals with the REST API that is the back end for the portal and for TechIDManager. This allows tons of changes. They have agreed to open source this. So be on the lookout for a newsletter where we say, hey, here is the repository for this PowerShell module to let you have access to use the API from PowerShell on your machine with the API keys and the security that's there to do in mass a lot of the things that you can do one at a time from the portal and from the TechID host. That's another thing that's coming next time that I forgot to put on here. I might have forgotten, or I might have been like, oh, there's not really space for one more bullet point there. So it is what it is. And there's a newsletter that you can sign up for if you want. So that really that's a lot of talking. I think that's where we are for PAMCast. Be on the lookout. We are sending newsletters, and we're doing a PAMCast again in a month to talk about things that have changed over the past month. I expect that there will be at least one of those next time items, the secret agent or the base accounts. The base with shared accounts will be done. I know you might have heard that before. And I hang my head in shame for my inability to estimate the developer's time appropriately. And, you know, there's a book called The Mythical Man Month. It's a much older book. It's about software development and time estimation. And I spent early on in my career a lot of time getting better at time estimation. I think I'm better than a lot, but time estimation for software development is a black science right now. It's a black magic. It's just hard. So that's why they've been on the next time list for a while. That's why they continue to be there, but we're working on them. All right. So that has been PAMCast for January 20th, 2026. We'll get the slide updated and out there. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, let us know. And I hope you all have